Welcome to this explainer video where myself, Logan, and partner Nate will answer the question of how can an understanding of nationalism in the past help us make sense of today. But firstly, what is nationalism? Nationalism is the pride and loyalty that citizens have for their country or nation to the detriment of another one. Now that that's out of the way, we can go deeper and look at some examples of nationalism and the impacts they have on today.
Our first example of nationalism is the nationalism around Confederation of Canada and how this type of nationalism relates to today. In the making of Canada, there was a nationalistic sense of trying to unite a country to fight back against forces like the USA. This kind of nationalism is happening right now in the United States with Joe Biden trying to unite the citizens of America because they are divided over their political beliefs. After Confederation, not all things changed. The French are still present in Canada, although some things have changed since Confederation, like the unity of Canada and the expansion. Another event that happened in Confederation was discussions of a maritime union and the maritime provinces that wanted to form their own union. We can connect to this to what is happening in the United Kingdom with Brexit. The United Kingdom want to withdraw from the European Union and want to form their own union.
In the 1800s, there was nationalism everywhere, including Italy. In 1847, what we now know as Italy was a bunch of states ruled by different leaders. However, all these states shared the same religion. The citizens of the Italian peninsula weren't happy with the divided states, and they wanted to unite. After 14 years, Italy was created because of a nationalistic sense of wanting to come together and be one. Some things have changed, such as these countries becoming united and doing things as one nation. Along with these changes, some things have stayed the same as well. Most people around the world are proud to be from their country and want to prove their country is great. We can see this kind of nationalism in sports. These sports bring together people and create a sense of a nation. It creates competition with other nations and pride for their own one. This kind of nationalism can help us understand today by the citizens sharing common values and language and how the several states came together because of their similarities.
Our third example of nationalism is the Métis and Louis Riel and how it relates to the indigenous lobster fishing conflicts in Nova Scotia. The Canadian government was trying to assimilate the Métis because they had just finished Confederation and they were expanding Canada and had a great sense of nationalism. The Métis needed their land, but many of their ideas were oppressed by the Canadian government because they wanted their land. Today, there is a conflict between the indigenous lobster fishers and commercial fishers. Commercial fishers destroyed the indigenous pounds where they kept their fish. This shows how some people haven't changed and are still trying to oppress the First Nations and force them off their rights and land. Although some things have changed, like how the government actually takes the indigenous group's chiefs' ideas and concerns into consideration when planning to make stuff on First Nations lands.
Nationalism plays a big part in modern-day society, from the language we speak to our religious beliefs and the countries we live in. All of this comes back to nationalism. So to answer the question of how can an understanding of nationalism in the past help us make sense of today, an understanding of nationalism can help us make sense of today by recognizing that nationalism created the countries we live in and how people feel united through language, political beliefs, and ethnicity. Without nationalism, we wouldn't live in Canada, and our world wouldn't be the same.